In 2015, Nintendo was playing checkers while everyone else was playing chess. Then they realized the game had changed. The Wii U launched in 2012 with a promise, a tablet controller that let you play games on the TV screen and off of it. It sounded revolutionary on paper, but in reality, it was a disaster. Nintendo sold just over 13 million units. Compare that to the Wii's only 1 million, or the PlayStation 4's 117 million. They lost billions. The company's stock price cratered, and many analysts wrote Nintendo off as a dying brand. But something strange happened inside Kyoto. The people who built the Wii U didn't abandon it. They studied it. They took apart every failure like scientists dissecting a cadaver. The core problem? The Wii U had an identity crisis. People thought the tablet was an add-on, not a new console. It was underpowered, and it had no games. That's a death sentence in hardware. Nintendo had been making consoles for 30 years. They knew hardware, but they forgot the most important lesson. Consumers don't buy specs. They buy experiences, and the Wii U offered neither. Internally, the mood was grim. President Satoru Iwata, a beloved leader, took a 50% pay cut as a symbol of accountability. But he also ordered a secret project, a new console that would rewrite the rules. That project eventually became the Switch. But the design team had a radical constraint. They based everything on what went wrong with the Wii U. Every flaw became a feature. The Wii U couldn't be played portably, so the Switch became a hybrid. The Wii U had developers confused, so the Switch used standard chips. The Wii U had no launch games, so the Switch launched with Zelda. But the most important lesson was about ecosystem. The Wii U had too many cables, too many menus, too much friction. The Switch stripped everything down to one gesture. Slide the Joy-Cons. Done. The hardware team obsessed over something called the moment of truth. That instant when you first pick up the device. For the Switch, they wanted it to feel like opening a present. But Nintendo didn't just fix hardware. They reversed their entire marketing strategy. Instead of showing games, they showed people. Families on planes, friends on couches. The console became a social object. Then came the pricing. The Switch launched at $290. That was cheaper than the PlayStation 4 Pro. But more importantly, it was cheaper than the Wii U had been. They learned from that mistake too. But here's the twist. The Nintendo Switch didn't just succeed because of hardware. It succeeded because of software. And they got that software from a totally unexpected place. Their own failure. The Wii U had one gem, Splatoon, a quirky ink shooting game that barely sold on the Wii U. On the Switch, it became a phenomenon. Nintendo had learned that a good idea isn't enough. You need the right platform. They also embraced third parties in a way they never had before. Indie games like Stardew Valley and Hollow Knight found huge audiences on Switch. The Wii U had ignored this world. The Switch embraced it. The result was a wildfire. In 10 months, the Switch outsold the Wii U's entire lifetime. By 2023, it passed 125 million units. It became Nintendo's second best-selling console of all time. But the real lesson isn't just about numbers. It's about how Nintendo treated failure. They didn't ignore it. They didn't blame the market. They mined it for information. Most companies treat a failed product like a dead body. Bury it fast. Nintendo treated the Wii U like a crime scene. They gathered every piece of evidence until they understood exactly what killed it. That's the blueprint. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the raw material. If you can stomach the pain, it tells you exactly what the market wants. You just have to listen. Today, Nintendo faces a new challenge. Switch sales are slowing. The next console is coming, and many wonder if they can pull off the magic again. But they carry a secret weapon they've already failed and survived. So if you're building something that flops, don't panic. Don't delete the data. Study it, because the next thing you build might just save your company. That's the story of Nintendo's comeback. And next time we'll look at a company that crashed so hard, everyone thought it was dead. But it wasn't. Iwata knew the Wii U was broken. He gathered his top engineers. No one left the room until they found a fix. They realized the tablet controller held a secret. It could work as a standalone screen. What if they removed the console entirely? That question changed everything. The Switch was born from that single idea, a console that could be anything. But the Switch nearly failed in testing. Early prototypes were too heavy. The battery lasted only 1 hour. Nintendo almost canceled the project. Then a junior designer suggested a trick. Remove the battery pack and put it in the dock. That fix saved the Switch. Today, it's one of the best-selling consoles ever. The lesson? Listen to the quietest voice in the room. That junior designer asked a simple question. What if the screen detaches? The room went silent. It was so obvious, yet no one had said it. That moment saved the Switch. And it taught Nintendo a deeper lesson. The lesson was about listening to the quietest voice. Iwata had a policy. He called it Ask Why 5 times. Dig deep until you find the real problem. The real problem wasn't the hardware. It was the assumption that a console must stay home. Once they broke that assumption, everything changed. They designed for a world on the go. They made the dock optional. The Joy-Cons could be shared. Suddenly, one console became many, and Nintendo had a new identity. But here's what most people miss. The Switch's success wasn't just about portability. It was about timing. The world had shifted. People wanted play anywhere, anytime. Nintendo didn't just catch a wave, they created the wave. They also learned from the Wii U's biggest mistake. It had no clear message. So they made the Switch's pitch simple. A console you can take anywhere. They said it over and over. Clarity cut through the noise. Now Nintendo faces its next test. The Switch is aging, competitors are catching up. But they've learned the lesson. Failure is just a step. The next comeback is already brewing. Subscribe to see what's next, because history never repeats, but it always